Siddhas or Tamil medicine men. Siddha in Sanskrit means one who has accomplished or achieved. Hindu philosophy considers Siddha or Siddhi in relation to spiritual enlightenment or physical immortality and identifies it with Brahman, who is medically considered as a body or germ cell. It considers Siddha Loka, the spiritual world of enlightenment. Siddha Purusha, one who has attained spiritual or godly enlightenment, as against the Sanskrit meaning of accomplished or achieved. The Sanskrit meaning is applicable to everyone, whereas the Hindu philosophical meaning is applicable to certain sectors of people only. South Indians, especially Tamilians, relate Siddha to medicine and they consider certain individuals as Siddhas, Sittar, who can accomplish or achieve everything. They believe that the Siddha form of medicine was practiced by Siddhas, believed to be ancient medicine men from South India, presently known as Dravida. This form of medicine is still practiced and is well known in South India. Ancient writings on palm leaf were thought to have been written by these Siddhas, which contains details of medicines, treatments, etc. A large cache of palm leaf writing is still to be deciphered. Many are with private collectors and some have been destroyed. The inscriptions are in the form of poetry and many believe that they are part of Tamil literature rather than medical texts. What is Siddha? Is it really what it's claimed to be by Hindu philosophers or South Indians? The word Siddham or Sittam in Tamil means wish or order or direction. All these are outputs from the brain after careful analysis of any matter. Thus, Siddha may mean decision or knowledge. This also coincides with the Sanskrit meaning of accomplished or achieved or enlightened. Vedic Puranas are said to have been recited by Roma Harshana, the disciple of Veda Vyasa, whom I identify with the human brain which is accomplished or enlightened. The word Siddha or Sittam is very closely related to the word Suddham or Suttam, which means cleanliness. To achieve or accomplish this, one must have an orderly thought process, and probably that is the reason for this close relationship in meaning. This meaning is also in line with the spirit of Puranic stories. The Puranic stories have chapters of Purusha, male or human, Sukta, Sri, female, Sukta, etc., where Sukta means cleanliness. There is an adage in Tamil which says, Karanam, acrobatics, Tappinal, falter, Maranam, death. It means if a person who performs acrobatics falters, death results. In the given word Karanam, if the alphabet K is written by mistake as M, then the word will be Maranam, which means death. It wants to convey that even a small falter can cause drastic or unimaginable results. There is a lot of faltering in the present general understanding of Vedic and Puranic texts. According to Tamil people, there were 18 Siddhas existing in Dravidian or southern areas. They created 3 Navapasana, alloy of 9 metals, idols. One was installed at Palani, Tamil Nadu. The second was sent to Sri Lanka and the third was sent to China. Even though this seems to be a story, it has some relevance to Puranic texts. There exist 18 Mahapuranas, though the Siddhas are not mentioned in them, but Sanskrit considers them enlightened persons. There may not be 3 Navapasana idols as mentioned, but there is a trinity of gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. The statue at Palani may relate to Shiva since the deity Kartikeyan at Palani temple is the son of Shiva. Palam or Param in Tamil means fruit. There is a famous story about a mango involving Shiva, Parvati, Ganesha, and Kartikeyan, where Ganesha wins the fruit while Kartikeyan is defeated in a competition. The second idol sent to China may refer to the Himalayas, head of ancient India, which is considered the human head, and Brahma, who is the controller of the human body through the brain. The third idol sent to Sri Lanka may refer to the sea, Lavana, which is salty. Salt is a food preservative or taste giver, and thus it refers to Vishnu, the preserver of human beings. Siddhar stories must be Tamil anthropomorphic versions of Sanskrit Puranic stories, giving different insights into ancient texts. Most ancient Tamil literary texts may turn out to be ancient medical texts on closer examination. When these texts are read individually, they may not sound medicinal, but in conjunction with other texts, they may bring out a treasure trove of hidden knowledge. Tirumandiram is said to be written by Tirumular, who is considered one of the 18 Siddhas. Tirumular may be an imaginary man such as Tolkapiyar and Tiruvalluvar. Tirumandiram is a compendium of various aspects of science, medicine, and other aspects of life. This also establishes the nexus with Puranic stories. Tamil literature and ancient medicinal knowledge have close connections. There exist 18 body alphabets, மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள், consonants, and 12 life alphabets, உயிரெழுத்துக்கள், in Tamil language. The whole set of Tamil alphabets are made of these life and body letters. Thus, there are 247 alphabets in the Tamil language. Why are there 18 body alphabets in Tamil language? Do they refer to the 18 Siddhas, or do they refer to the 18 Mahapuranas and their relevance to the human body? Most other Indian languages have around 535 alphabets to express themselves. All Indian languages are phonetic, and twists in pronunciation change the meaning. This is the basis for all adages or sayings. There is a Tamil adage which says, Siddham Poku, Shivan Poku. Poku means flow or movement. It means Siddhan will wander as Shiva wanders. There are many stories which say that Shiva wandered in graveyards with garlands of bones. Shiva relates to human blood, which is explained under the chapter Shiva. Thus, the adage tries to convey the message that the health of the human body depends upon the healthy flow of blood. It also stresses that Siddha means health or cleanliness only. Most of the human brain's commands are activated or pass through the hormones, which are secreted into the blood, and the blood cells or circulation acts as a conduit to transfer the same all over the human body. Sangam Tamil literature is considered very ancient and chaste. Since many Tamil texts have mentioned three Sangha or Tri-Sangha, we believe that there exist three Tamil summits with forums to discuss Tamil literature in the ancient days. What is Sangha? Some consider this as conch, meaning Sangha. Many consider this as an association of persons or some kind of organization for the development of language or arts. It is also believed that the literary works of first two Tamil Sangams were destroyed by sea flooding. The third one was conducted inland at Madurai, a South Indian city. None of the works were destroyed. Tri-Sangha or Tri-Sangha refers to tri-junction, and anatomically they refer to the uterus, which is called a conch. There exist three ways or connections to the uterus: two fallopian tubes and one entrance at the cervix. The uterus is best known as a place of sangamam, meaning joining or conglomeration of the ovum and sperm that creates the offspring. Medically, the sperm meets the ovum in either of the two fallopian tubes, depending upon the release of the ovum by the ovaries. These meetings could refer to the first and second Tamil Sangam. The fertilized eggs moves into the uterus and attaches to the wall of uterus. This meeting could refer to the third Tamil Sangam. The fertilized egg gets its nourishment from the wall of the uterus, which is termed as Madhu, Madurai, referring to sap or syrup. This creation is known as Shankaracharya. Surprise happenings at the Sangha. Conch, Acharya means teacher, and it also means surprise in Tamil. Currently, we name a guru or spiritual teacher as Shankaracharya since we believe that he is the beginning or head and the spiritual direction stems from him. The uterus is the beginning and the whole world expects something from it. Sangam landscape. The classical Sangha Tamil literature has created a poetic device called Sangam landscape to explain love poetry during ancient times. The core of the device was the categorization of poems into different thinai or modes, depending on the nature, location, mood, and type of relationship represented by the poem. Each thinai was closely associated with a particular type of imaginary landscape. Flowers, trees, wildlife, people, climate, and geography were imagined and woven into the poem to convey different moods associated with aspects of a romantic relationship. Tamil Sangam literary texts have composed an imaginary landscape divided into 7 categories or thinais. Out of 7, 5 thinais, Kurinchi, Mullai, Marudam, Neithal, and Palai, are set in geographical area associated with a specific landscape. The remaining 2 thinais are considered non-geographical and are not associated with any specific landscape. 5 of the geographical landscapes that are described in the poems naturally occur in ancient Indian soil. There were no rigid geographical divisions in ancient India like the present day state borders. Today, we are all discussing the Dravidian Aryan divide, their languages, religion, etc. But none of these divisions existed in Vedic India. Organized religions were created during the 9th century or later. Different languages must have been in existence, but they are not classified as Dravidian or Aryan but belonging to ancient India only. Some languages were in use throughout the ancient Indian subcontinent. The migration of people to different states of the Indian subcontinent may be one of the reasons for this. What is the connection between a language from South India and a language in the Indus Valley civilization? The answer lies in the trade between ancient India and other contemporary civilizations like Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and Chinese. People from all over ancient India were using the Indus Valley as a gateway for trade and the exchange of knowledge. Historians have identified certain languages as Dravidian languages, even though there is nothing called Dravidian in ancient India, and found that these are being used to spoken in South India. Some parts of Orissa, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and the Brahugi Hill areas of Pakistan. Thus, the Indus Valley area has a prominent place in history, but its existence was not known till 1920. South Indians consisting of Tamils, Malayalis, Kannadigas, and Telugus could have been settlers in the Indus Valley area because of their medicinal and other knowledge. This could be one of the main reasons for the creation of Taxila, as a learning center. The commingling of people of different cultures in the Indus Valley area would have created a new community of people, different from the clans of their origins, who are called Aryans and considered noble. Natural calamities in the Indus Valley area and the subsequent continuous invasions into ancient Indian territory pushed the people of Indus Valley civilization to retreat to their places of origin or elsewhere. These incidents have been mentioned through the Kannaki Kovalan Madhavi stories in Silappadigaram, a Tamil literary epic. This migration also brought foreigners into ancient Indian territory. Everyone, Indus Valley people and the foreigners, together was branded invaders and termed Aryan by later generations. Majority of Indus Valley settlers and invaders would have chosen to be in North India because of its proximity to the site of movement or invasion. Constant invasions did not affect the people of South India much. The situation led them to believe that all people in North India were migrants and branded them Aryan invaders. which created a big gap. They were not aware that Aryans were their own clansmen, instrumental in creating Vedic texts. None of the actual invaders or foreigners created these texts. They came into India only to materially benefit from the region. Vedic texts were either created or transcribed in a new language called Sanskrit, mixture of Tamil, Greek, Latin, etc. And this also led to further alienation of Aryans. The alter ego of Vedic texts can be found in Tamil literature. The word Dravida consists of two words, Drava, Ida, where Drava means water or liquid and Ida means place or habitat. Thus, Dravida means a place of water or a watery place. Dravida has no other meaning, and the Tamil language does not create meaningless or ambiguous words. Land of Dravida has been mentioned in the Mahabharata, and its location or direction was mentioned at Dakshin. This has led many people to believe that South Indians are exclusively Dravidians because they live by the sea. Tamil activists claim that the Dravidian lands are called Kumarikandam. History mentions that Kumarikandam was swallowed by the sea. Many human habitats or civilizations have sprung up near water sources. These water sources must necessarily be fresh water only. Seawater or seashore is only a convenience for other purposes. Thus, Drava, Idam may not necessarily be by the seafront, but it could be in the interiors, by rivers or lakes. Whoever lives near water sources can be called Dravidian, not South Indians alone. Drava, Ida, which is mentioned in Mahabharata, is not a geographical area but a place of water in the human body. The urinary bladder is biggest source of salty water in a human body. All Vedic texts, including the epics Mahabharata and Ramayana, are ancient medical texts since all these texts are somehow related and interconnected. Thus, there are no races called Dravidians and Aryans. Today, the so-called Aryans believe that they are superior and the Dravidians are inferior to them. The Dravidians of today feel that they are marginalized by the Aryans. Neither of them is superior nor inferior to each other. Both are the descendants of ancient Indians, and both are superior as well as inferior in their practical knowledge. Varna or the caste system added fuel to fire. Indian society was divided into four classes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Sudra. Another fifth class, untouchables, was added to the list. Vedas were divided into four: Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. Ayurveda was not considered a separate Veda. Untouchability comes out of Sad or cleanliness. Indian race system, Aryan and Dravidians, and Varna system, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Sudra, were utilized by Indian invaders to rule India. Britishers understood that this was more powerful than gunpowder. Many religions made inroads in altering this draconian feature, but ended up maintaining the status quo of the Varna system. The seven Thinai poems and their landscapes are real and not imaginary as claimed by Tamil literary experts. These poems are related to the 18 Puranas and Vedic texts, which are considered medical texts. Tamil people of ancient India seem to have taken an active part in creating the Puranas and Vedic texts in different style from Tamil poetry. The strong nexus between Thinai poetry and Vedic texts bring out the ancient medical concepts being narrated through Tamil poetry. The poetic attributes for each Thinai landscape, considered imaginary by literary circles, are not imaginary, but like anthropomorphism, are brought in to convey medical and health aspects of the human body. They may seem like romantic poems, but they are packed with innumerable health-related messages. There is a Tamil adage which says, Kallai kandal nayai kanum, nayai kandal kallai kanum, meaning, when you look at the stone, the dog does not exist. When you look at the dog, the stone does not exist. This was a comment made by an anonymous person looking at a statue of a dog made of granite. The dog statue was so perfect as to deceive human wit. This adage is applicable to Thinai poetry. Kurunji Thinai. In Kurunji Thinai, the region referred to is mountainous. The mood mentioned is the union of lovers, and time is midnight. The season is winter, and the climate is cool and moisture laden. The flower referred to in that region is the Kurunji. The Kurunji flower is a very special flower that blossoms once every 12 years. This flower can be seen near Munnar, Kerala, in the Western Ghats, and in the Kodaikanal hills of Tamil Nadu. The region of Kurunji Thinai is surrounded by lakes, waterfalls, trees of vengai, kino tree, bamboo, jackfruit, and sandalwood. Millet or thinai is a mountain crop. Grown in the region, and honey of wild bees is collected by the tribal people. Normally, different tribes live on one mountain or range. The color of the soil is red and black with stones and pebbles. The animals of the region are monkeys, elephants, horses, and bulls. The god of the region is Murugan, Kartikeyan, second son of Shiva. All the above attributes are poetic, but mentioned for a purpose. Kurunji Thinai is related to the male anatomy, and it tries to narrate the functions of the male sexual organ. This may also be applicable to the female sexual stimulation, since there is not much difference in gender sexual stimulation. The ingredients used to explain the sexual stimulation of both genders is the above mentioned landscape, mood, flowers, time, season, and climate, animal, crop and plant, water source, soil, occupation of the inhabitants, and God. Kurunji Thinai poetry narrates the process of secretion, collection, and accumulation, union of lovers, of seminal or vaginal fluid in human sexual organs. The semen of a male is a fluid consisting of two parts, a cellular part and a non-cellular part. Semen is secreted by the male gonads. Sexual glands of a male. Approximately 5% of semen consists of spermatozoons, and the balance is seminal fluid called plasma. A healthy man may produce 1.5 milliliter to 5 milliliter per ejaculation. Each milliliter of seminal fluid contains about 20 million to 100 million sperm cells. Some portions of seminal fluid are produced by seminal vesicles, and most of the remainder is generated by the prostate, mountains. A small amount of viscous mucus with a jelly-like texture secreted by the bulbourethral glands is also added to the seminal fluid. The bull represents sexual stimulation. Incidentally, the bull is known as Nandi and is the vehicle of Shiva, who is represented by a phallic symbol. The elephant, Ganesha, organs consisting of scrotum, testis, and penis, represents erection of the penis, and horse represents motor power or metabolism. Seminal plasma contains sugar fructose, which is the main energy source of spermatozoons, and is called honey in this thinai. A cross-section of the testis and female ovary will resemble a cross-section of a jackfruit. The ovary is often compared with the seed pod of a lotus flower. Artocarpus integrifolia is the botanical name for the Indian jackfruit tree. The fruit is delicious and popular in India. The unripe fruit is generally cooked as a vegetable. The fruit, seeds, leaves, root, and the milky juice of the tree are used for medicinal purposes. Flakes of the fruit, fermented and distilled, yield an alcoholic drink. There are certain references to cannabis. Some vaginal secretions overpower or temporarily immobilize the T cells which patrol for aliens. Probably, this cannabis or inherent alcohol immobilizes the aliens, while the spermatozoans enter through the vaginal canal during intercourse. Petrocarpus marsupium is the botanical name for venkai, or the Indian kino tree, a native Indian tree which grows largely in the Western Ghats. Gammalu aruttu is the Ayurvedic name for the tree, which has medicinal properties. It is also called Pitasala in Sanskrit. Sala means classroom or path. Pita is one of the three attributes of Ayurveda. The other attributes are Vata and Kava. Gammalu aruttu is used as an astringent, shrinks mucous membranes, and is often used internally to check discharge of mucus secretions. Mucus is one of the constituents of semen or vaginal secretions. Venkai is also another name for tiger, which is closely associated with Shiva and Ayyappan, who represents the third gender. Shiva is referred to as Pita or Pita, lunatic in Tamil poetry, which in turn could indicate the pituitary gland. The secretions of the pituitary gland control human procreative organs. Another attribute is sandalwood, which is of two types, red sandalwood and white sandalwood. Red sandalwood is known as Rakta Chandana, and its botanical name is Pterocarpus santallinus. Sandalwood paste has a cooling effect and is widely used during summer months. Heat boils on the human body are soothed by the application of sandalwood paste. Does this tree have a medicinal properties in relation to procreative organs? Sandalwood is widely known for its aromatic smell. White sandalwood is known as Sri Gandha or Bhadrasri, and its botanical name is Santalum album. Gandha, Gandhagam, refers to sulfur, which is meant for ignition, and Sri refers to germ cells of both male and female. Bhadra refers to the duct or canal, which may refer to the ducts of hormone glands. Sri mostly refers to female, and Gandha also refers to magnet, which attracts iron. Blood contains or needs iron. Females especially need a lot of iron because of menstruation. Another attribute is bamboo, grown in Western India and the Himalayas. Bamboo, Bambusa arundinacea, is used to treat infections. Seminal fluid must travel and remain viable through the hostile situation inside the vagina. Seminal plasma serves as a nutritive and protective medium for the sperm during their journey. Bamboo is also known as Vamsa Lavanam, Vaishnavi, and Trinadvajab in Sanskrit. Lavanam refers to the salty region, and thus it may refer to human genitals. Vamsa means generation or lineage, and thus Vamsa Lavanam means lineage passages, which are human genitals that transport seminal fluid. Trinad may refer to the trinity or trijunction, which indicates the uterus. Jawab means answer or assurance. The uterus is known as Sangha, a meeting place mentioned in all ancient texts. The Kurunji flower is brought into the scenario to explain female puberty and ovulation. The Kurunji flower blossoms once in 12 years. It is also called Neela Kurunji, Strobilanthes kuntiana, and its medicinal properties are not fully known. Puranic texts specify that 12 years for a human is equivalent to 12 days for gods. The word god must have been derived from gonad. Ovum and testis are human gonads. 12 years may refer to the average age for female puberty. This average age is applicable to male puberty also, but normally average age for a male is 14 years. 12 days may also refer to the average period of ovulation, possible days of fertilization. Ovulation may take place between the 11th and 14th day of the menstrual cycle. Kunti of Mahabharata is also tied to female puberty. The animal, monkey, locally known as Hanuman, is also called Vayuputra, son of Vayu, a Vedic deity. Vayu, also known as Vata, refers to the wind and is thus connected to bodily movements, especially muscle contractions and releases during sexual stimulation. Elephant, known as Ganesha, is the elder brother of Kartikeya. Elephant or Ganesha refers to a penis erection, and Kartikeya refers to sperm. The horse is known as Ashvina and refers to the brain cortex, instrumental for all bodily senses. Bull, Nandi, a vehicle of Shiva, refers to sexual stimulation through secretions at the pituitary gland in the thalamus of the brain. A bull sitting or squatting on the floor will simply be munching cud. At times, when provoked, it will stand up with a sudden jerk, scaring people nearby. This sudden movement or arousal is related to sexual stimulation. Mullai Thinai. Mullai Thinai is set in a forest. The mood or situation is mellow, waiting for a separated lover, and the time is evening. The season is slightly warm, late summer, and cloudy. The flower available in this region is mullai, jasmine. The region is rich with rivers and kondrai trees. The color of the soil is red. The animal in the region is deer. The people of the region are farmers. The god of the region is Smal, Vishnu, Krishna. Mullai Thinai is related to the female anatomy and tries to describe the functions of her sexual organs when she is in a romantic mood or ovulating. The ingredients used to explain the functions of the female sexual organs are the landscape, mood, flower, time, season and climate, animal, crop and plant, water source, soil, occupation of the inhabitants, and god. The entire Mullai Thinai is devoted to describing the ovum's expulsion from the ovary, its journey through the fallopian tube, and heroine waiting patiently during separation for its union with the male sperm. The animal, deer, is brought in to show that the ovum has been separated from its herd, ovary, and is on its way to meet its companion, sperm, to reach a safer place, uterus, along with him. Otherwise, the separated deer will be killed. Degeneration of ovum without fertilization by wild animals, bodily secretions. The ovum resembles a jasmine bud. Mullai is known as jasmine or jati, and its botanical name is Jasminum officinale. There are many species of jasmine. The fallopian tube is referred to as a forest pasture, vana. The movement of the ovum will be along the fallopian tube's natural direction, described as a river or river flow. The journey is one way only, and the ovum, deer, will never return to its original habitat, ovary. Kondrai, Sarakondrai, or golden shard tree, Cassia fistula, is brought into the scene. The flower is yellow in color. The tree is drought and salt tolerant. The tree grows best in late summer on well-drained soil, but is damaged even in a short spell of freezing weather. It all explains the fragility of the ovum. The Kondrai flower is used as a ritualistic offering for Vishnu, the god earmarked for this Thinai. The word Sara in Sarakondrai refers to Saraswati, indicating the brain and nervous system. Vishnu is the preserver or protector. He is considered a brother to Parvati, uncle of Kartikeyan, second son of Parvati. As a brother, he is supposed to protect his sister and her lineage. Vishnu is also known as Tayumanavar, meaning mother-like protector. Vishnu, as a preserver, is likened to the endocrine system, which regulates certain hormonal secretions of the human body. The liver is one of the organs in the endocrine system which regulates or monitors female reproductive mechanism. Human portal circulation is connected to the liver. The fetal circulation system comes into existence only when the female is pregnant. Puranic stories mention that Brahma was born to Vishnu. Vishnu was also born to Brahma in some places, which stresses his role in the female anatomy. Brahma is considered human cells, germ cell, and body cell. The ovum is a female germ cell which can reproduce. The kondrai flower is much loved by Shiva. Ayurvedic medicine recognizes it as a disease killer and is called Aragvada. It is used as a laxative and to treat fever, arthritis, diseases of the nervous system, and blood-related diseases. Marudam Thinai. In Marudam Thinai, the region is an agricultural area, plain or valley, which is also known as heaven or Swarga. The mood or situation is that of a lover's quarrel, the annoyed wife accusing her husband of visiting courtesans, and the time is shortly before sunrise. The flower available in the region is Marudam. The region is rich with ponds and mango trees. The people around the area are farmers, doing pastoral and farming activities. The soil is alluvial. The animals available in the region are water buffaloes and freshwater fish. The god of the region is Devendra or Vendin, Indran. In Kurunji Thinai, it is seen that seminal fluid or vaginal secretions, Thenum Thinai Mavum, honey and millet flour, is being collected from the mountainous regions of the male and female bodies. In Mullai Thinai, the ovum, deer, came out of its herd and wandered in the forest to be saved by friends, sperm, or killed by wild animals, bodily secretions. What next? Marudam Thinai is related to the beginning or earlier part of the union of male and female. Vedic texts refer to it as yoga. Yoga refers here to the body movements at the time of union, which produces results. This has been symbolically mentioned as accusing husband of visiting courtesans. Courtesans' houses are visited by eligible males to enjoy sexual intimacy. The Marudam flower is native to tropical southern Asia. The flowers are produced in erect panicles, each flower with 6 whites to purple petals. It refers to erection during sexual stimulation. Marudu tree is also called Vellai Marudu and is known as Arjuna, Terminalia Arjuna in Sanskrit. Sodium, pure calcium carbonates, and alkaline chlorides. Arjuna is known for his superb skills in archery that requires the use of bow and arrow. It has been specifically brought into this Thinai to describe the activities around the male-female union. The male procreative organ, through its contraction and release of muscles, forcefully rejects the tightly packed, non-motile bunches of sperms through ejaculation. This situation is equated to archery, where arrows shoot out of the bow with force. The landscape mentioned here is agricultural land, situated in the plains or valley, which reminds us that the areas are very fertile and crops will grow green, healthy, and prosperous. Water buffaloes go into ponds to cool themselves and do not leave the pond quickly. Water buffaloes are famous for rubbing each other vigorously, rolling on each other, and fighting inside the pond, scattering the freshwater fish helter-skelter. The main occupation of farmers in the region is pastoral, meaning that they are experts in milking cattle, cows, sheep, or goats. Milk is known as lactose, or sharira, or dugdha, or doodh, and its constituents are very important for the well-being of bones, nerves, muscles, and tissues. The soil in the region is alluvial, containing fine particles of silt and clay deposited by a river or running water. Alluvial soil is very fertile. Similarly, when the seminal fluid is released into the vaginal canal, the sperms, freshwater fish, move helter-skelter through vaginal passage. The god of the region is Devendra or Vendan, Indran, known for savoring entertainment in the form of dance and music. In Tamil, Indriyam means seminal fluid, is the god of heaven or Swarga, Su plus Vargam, meaning pleasure. Even though Swargam is heaven, the bigger heaven, begetting children and descendants, is Vargam. Buffalo is the vehicle or Vahana of Yamadharma Raja. It refers to the human heart which pumps blood into circulation. During intercourse, pumping of blood in both males and females is vigorous. Penis erection is achieved through increased flow of blood into the soft blood vessels around it. Medical books offer a detailed description of the human anatomical areas affected by the great flow of blood, Mahakala, during an orgasm. The buffalo is brought into this Thinai scenario to remind one of the heart's functions. Buffalo's milk is a cardiac stimulant. Neithal Thinai. In Neithal Thinai, the region described is a seashore, seaside fishing, and sandy beaches. The mood is grief over separation expressed by the heroine, and the time is sunset. The flower available in the region is water lily. The region is occupied by punnai trees, water wells, and the sea. The people around are fisher folk. The soil is sandy and saline. Animals available in the region are crocodiles and sharks. The god of the region is Neithirman or Kandolan Varunan. Neithal Thinai relates to the later part of the male-female reunion, the ejaculation stage. The god of the region, Varuna, the rain god, controls rain and natural water. Vaginal secretions occur to facilitate the movement of sperms to their destination. The normal environment of a vaginal passage is hostile to sperm cells, very acidic, viscous, and petrol by T cells. Normally, Varuna is shown or described together with Mitra, always called Varuna Mitra. They both refer to the dorsal ventral spinal nerve. This assumption is confirmed by the fact that crocodiles and sharks are brought in to show hostilities and facilities. Crocodile is the vehicle or Vahana of Ganga, who is considered a depiction of the human spinal cord or vertebrae. Spinal nerves control the movement and functions of organs. However, the components of seminal plasma, metal, salt ions, sugar, lipids, steroid hormones, enzymes, amino acids, etc. tend to protect sperm. Thus, the soil of the region is imagined as sandy and saline. The mood or situation is grief over separation, which is correct, and both parties have parted with something, secretions and ejaculation. The punnai tree, Calophyllum inophyllum, is a large evergreen tree native to southern coastal India. It grows on coastal sand or even degraded soil. The seeds yield oil for medicinal purposes believed to regenerate tissues. The wood is strong and used in the construction of keels for canoes and boats. The flower of the region, water lily, Nymphaceae or Nymphaea lotus, grows on muddy soil. Water lily is also known as Indravacham. In Sanskrit, where Indra always refers to sexual pleasure or procreative organs, Vacham or Vasam means smell. Thus, Indravacham may mean the smell of seminal fluid. Vacha, a medicinal plant, is also known as Sugantha Vacha, and its botanical names are Alpinia galanga or Kaempferia galanga. Kaempferia galanga is known as Chandra Mulliga, where Chandra refers to moon, and in turn, the female menstrual cycle. Thus, Neithal Thinai explains or brings out the atmospheric conditions in the vaginal passage. Varuna is the name of a plant which is also known as Pashugandha, Asmarigna, and Marilinga, Linga. Its botanical name is Creta eva religiosa. Pashu in Tamil refers to cow and is known as Gaumada or Gomada, which refers to the female genitals. Normally, this plant is found in the vicinity of Hindu temples. The medicinal usages of Creta eva religiosa and its relevance to female genitals is not known. The story of Sagarmanthan describes the Varuni or Sura coming out of a milky ocean while the Devas and Asuras were churning it. Orgasms in both men and women are often associated with other involuntary actions, including vocalizations and muscular spasms in other areas of body. Also, in general, a euphoric sensation is associated with orgasms, attributed to the release of prolactin. Prolactin is a typical neuroendocrinal response in depressed mood and irritation. Does this plant Varuna, Creta eva religiosa, have anything to do with prolactin? Palai Thinai. In Palai Thinai, the region is parched wasteland or desert. The mood or situation is the longest separation and dangerous journey undertaken by the hero. The time period is noon. Noon represents scorching sun and thirst. The flower in the region is Palai. The region abounds in cactus plants, dry wells, and stagnant water. The people around are travelers and bandits. The region is filled with salt-affected soil. The animals in the region are tired elephants, tigers, and wolves. The god is Kotravai or Durga, another name of Parvati. Palai Thinai is a continuation of the previous Nadal Thinai, where the sperm swims or moves deep into the vagina and uterus in search of the female egg. The sperms, heroes, the travelers undertake a dangerous journey through the wasteland. Uterus and fallopian tube are considered wasteland since no conception has taken place, and they may be killed by bandits, T-cells, or other hostiles on their way. We see dry wells, stagnant water, since bodily secretions would have reduced or stopped. The soil's condition has not changed from the previous Nadal Thinai and continues to be salt-infused. We also see fatigued elephants and tigers. Elephant refers to Ganesha, and the tubular conduit which transfers seminal fluid during ejaculation, the penis and testes. An erect penis resembles an elephant raising its trunk above its head. The tiger refers to Shiva and in turn the phallus. Tiger is an agile swimmer and attacker of its prey. Fatigue is natural in men and women post-orgasm. The Palai flower, Rhytia tomentosa, is native to tropical Asia, Africa, and Australia. This is presently used as an antidote for snake bites and scorpion stings. It is also called Kutaja, Cholera antidysenterica, in Ayurveda and has many medicinal properties. The word Kuta can be found in Kalakuta, Kala, blood, Kutta, pool. The poison that came out while churning milky ocean or Sagar Mantana. This poison, Kalakuta, was drunk by Shiva. Thus, Kala refers to Shiva and Yama, and it is a name for human blood. Kutta means Kuttai or pool, and thus Kalakuta means pool of blood. This blood pool occurs at the time of male or female sexual stimulation. In case orgasm or ejaculation does not occur, the blood pool turns blue due to lack of oxygen and is called blue ball. Thus, the flower Kutaja, Cholera antidysenterica, may be useful in this situation. The cactus plant has hundreds of thorns. When hundreds of sperms wagging their tails, try to break into the round-shaped female egg. The ovum will resemble a cactus with hundreds of thorns. All sperms attack with the single aim of penetrating the ovum. Menstruation will happen if fertilization has not taken place. The presence of Durga, Dur means bad, Ga means go, tells us about the forming of the endometrium, the uterus lining, soon after the release of the ovum from the ovaries. If conception takes place, the uterus lining will not be shed. Hence, there will be no menstrual cycle. If conception does not take place, then the menstrual cycle will be activated after a wait of 2 weeks from the day the ovum has been expelled from the ovary. Nearly 400 million sperms are ejected into a vagina during intercourse. Very small numbers survive to swim into the uterus, and only one will succeed in entering the ovum and fertilizing it. Incidentally, the palai flower is known as Kalinga, which reminds us of Emperor Asoka and his great war at Kalinga. Female genitals are also known as Kalinga, while the male genital is known as Linga. Ka would have been added to the name to refer to periodic flow of blood during menstruation. After the war, King Asoka is said to have followed Buddhism, considered a branch of Hinduism. Bu means birth. There is a striking similarity between these two incidents, Kalinga War and human intercourse. Millions of soldiers called sperms perish, and consumption takes place, which result in birth, Bu. In the Great Kalinga War also, there were innumerable deaths. The war was won by Asoka, and he follows the teachings of Buddha. Buddha attained enlightenment at Gaya under a Bodhi tree. Yaga is a religious ritual which refers to the metabolic activities in the human body. Kalinga is a medicinal plant. Asoka is also a medicinal plant, and its botanical name is Saraka indica. It is also known as Vichitra and Gandapushpa and is found in many temples. The Bodhi tree, known as Aswada, sacred fig, and peepal tree, is a medicinal plant, and its botanical name is Piscus religiosa. Thus, the stories of Kalinga and Buddha also seem to be anthropomorphic stories about human birth or fertilization from the ancient medical texts of the Vedas. Buddhist scripture also contains elaborate details about human anatomy and its functions. Buddha and Buddhism relate to functions of fertilization, development of organs inside the uterus, birth, and to spiritual, as is presently assumed. Kaikilai Thinai. Kaikilai Thinai is a non-geographical composition, and no region is described in ancient literature. The mood or situation described in this Thinai is one-sided love. Kaikilai Thinai is a stage where no union takes place between male and female. The female egg and male ejaculation will go waste without an actual union. The female egg is wasted if sexual union does not take place. The menstrual cycle is a natural phenomenon of the female anatomy. In other words, it explains the degeneration of the female egg if it does not meet with the male sperms. Since no union has taken place, the situation is called one-sided. The same situation is also applicable to male sperm not used for union and fertilization. Perundinai. Perundinai is also a non-geographical composition, and no region is described in ancient Tamil literature. The mood or situation described in this Thinai is an unnatural one and contrary to tradition. It is traditional for a female to have a regular cycle, her ovary releasing the ovum at monthly intervals for conception. If a menstrual cycle is not regular but abnormal, the situation may be perundinai. Another instance may be a union where one of the parties does not consent. Yet, another situation may be a separation due to breach of promise by any one of the parties, hero or heroines. Under these conditions, the union may take place at a time when either ovum or sperm is not released, or the released ovum may be defective, or the sperm may not be motile, when either party experiences infertility, impotence, or sterility. Literally, it was felt that the union of a man with a woman much older than him was to be discouraged, as the resulting offspring may not be healthy. The practice of Shashtyapta Purti, marriage at the 60th year of the male, expects a male to refrain from active procreation even though it does not prohibit the person from pursuing a normal sexual life. Thus, ancient Tamil literature has not created and divided Thinais to inform us of geographical or non geographical areas of land, but to give us medical knowledge. Ancient Tamil literature must be called the Siddha form of health literature. It is an alter ego of the anthropomorphic work of Vedic texts, which also record medical or health information. Vedic Sanskrit was used to produce Vedic texts. Likewise, Sangha Tamil, chaste Tamil, was used to produce Tamil literary texts. The parallels between Vedic texts and Sangha Tamil texts lead us to believe that a common body of knowledge, ancient medical texts, were recorded in their own literary style. This resulted in later Vedic and Tamil scholars blaming each other for copying each other's work. The same principle applies to Egyptian, Greek, and Latin stories of gods. Scholars from those regions would have worked together at the time of the Indus Valley civilization. The Thinai kind of poetry in Tamil literature is called Chitrinba or Sitrinba poetry, meaning poetry of sexual pleasure. Chit or Sitr comes from the root Chirya or Sirya, meaning small. Inba meaning pleasure in Tamil language. The same can be found in the word Chitrambalam for the present city of Chitrambalam, where the Shiva's temple has Nataraj as its chief deity. Chitr means small, and Ambalam means place. But Chitrambalam does not mean small place, but pleasure place. Why is it called a pleasure place? Nataraj's Ananda Tandavam is considered the cosmic dance related to the male orgasm, stimulated by the pituitary gland in the thalamus. Thus, Chitrambalam refers to Shiva's residence, which is the pituitary, the sexual stimulant and master regulator.